Welcome everyone. Today I'm sitting down with Alejandro. He's one of my best students from the academy. He's now working for the disaster team, so we'll talk about a few things and do kind of a Q&A. What's up, Alejandro? How are you?
Hi, Etienne. I'm growing really good, and you?
That's perfect, awesome. So guys, he's been through the whole content in the academy. He's been through a lot of stuff. He's worked really hard, and recently he helped me to develop some product, the training assistant, in fact, which is linked below. But we kind of want to go through his story a little bit, try to see like what happened, what were the tough times, the good times, and how he's been able to grow in trading. Because now he's at the point where he's going to trade for other people pretty soon, I think. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually right now building my track record in order to be able to apply to a couple of prop firms and to later try to open a legal structure in which I can accept money from clients and trade for them.
Nice, love that. So I want to know kind of what was the start for you in trading? What time does that come back to, and how did you start exactly?
Well, I started my trading journey back when I was finishing high school. That was in 2012. And I was taking a sabbatical year before starting university because first I was going to apply to science in Australia. And during that time, then I had nothing to do except waiting for the application process. Because I live in Mexico City. I forgot to say that before. So the school times here, they end. It ended in mid-year, so it ended in June. And in Australia, they start the school year on February. So I had to wait at least 6 months for the application process and that in order to know. So I had nothing to do basically. And I was looking for money, so for ways to make money online. That's literally how I found. I don't remember exactly how I found out trading, but the first thing that I saw about trading was some managed accounts, which was a scam that was running Latin America at that time. And I just went and like read quickly scheme, and it was like, yeah, like you can get 2% per week or something like that in a minimum $500 account and things like that. And then I was just curious, and I went to search other things. So I went like to search, and then I went through Forex Peace Army, which in those days was a lot better than now. And I saw that, okay, that's a scam. And then I was like, okay, that's a scam. And then I just found a random broker. I went with Altari, and I literally started trading then. And I started trading with $1,000, which I had been working for almost 1 year during high school, like kind of like doing odd jobs and that to get. So I put those $1,000 into the account. 3 months later, I had around $2,800 in my account. And then 1 week after that, my account was with $100 left only. And I was like, I felt the rush, like the newbie like winning streak, and then you don't know nothing, and then you lose everything that you had. And then since then, I have been, during that time I was on and off in trading. And then I went to university, and I kept always with the trading. I always had the trading bug after that. So I started reading Baby Peeps, and I started to do more things until near the end of my university. I studied finance. Near the end of it, I was focusing more on, okay, I want to be a trader. So I may try to find a job after finishing school, but I would prefer to be a trader. So I started to be more serious about that. And I bought a course, and I applied part to the knowledge, but I was still in university. So it was still like a part-time thing for me. And afterwards, I had the opportunity to, after finishing university, be able to dedicate full-time. So last year, I was all the year dedicating full-time to my development. So I had lots of bases, so mostly knowledge base already before. But once I started doing everything, it was like, okay, the psychology and the process, all the parts that are the organization are extremely important, because even if you have all the knowledge in the world, you may be looking at the charts and saying, yeah, it's going down and it's going to go to this level and that, right? And you can be right, but you never place a trade. You never did anything in the market, really. You're just like an analyst, like sending a report and that, but you are too afraid to actually do the things. So passing that part, it took me almost the whole last year to pass that part. And one of the key points was actually when I joined the academy with one of the trainings you did with Mandy at the end of last year, the trading psychology one. It helped me a lot. All the materials and all the things all the things that we did together with Mandy helped me a lot to understand, okay, what I needed to do, like what I already had done and what I have already working well and what I am messing up, basically. Because I mean, I had like a process and a strategy, and I had technically a written trading plan and lots of written things, but I never followed them. They were just there in my computer and I never followed them. So after that, I started to like organize in the sense of, yes, I have the things now. Let's use the tools that I had developed over time that I have gathered in my past team, probably around 5 years now since I started like on and off. So I gathered lots of different things and lots of little parts in there. And I started organizing everything and working with that. And then I went through the courses of the academy and all the information there. And it helped me also to, okay, I have these parts, and then, okay, this kind of helped me join what I already knew. My trading style was already, what I already had developed my trading style, and add a lot of new things in order to make something which I can call my own. So it's not like from another educator and academy, it's kind of joined together the things in order to make something that works better for me. But the key part for me was really the psychology part. Getting to that point of, okay, I'm going to invest this money and this time to actually get into the psychology part, because that's what has been lacking, or what has been helping me mess up my results from before. Because I know the system I was trading works well. I know it has results, but I was not getting the results. So I knew it was either I was applying wrongly the things, or I was just doing something that destroyed, let's say, the potential of the system. So I went with that, and then, well, in one of the monthly mastermind calls, you told me that you need to have a checklist, right, in order to be able to navigate in real time the markets. And since then, I actually have it here. I remember I told you that you could shame me on YouTube if I didn't do the checklist by the next time. And those type of little things of being accountable to someone else and getting myself in, okay, if I don't do this, there could be other consequences. Maybe it's not like physical punishment or that, but it's, I mean, I didn't know if you were actually going to do that if I failed. So I was like, okay, that could be a potentially quite bad for social life, right? So I actually did it. And after I did it, I also got a little like whiteboard markers. And every day after that day that we had that call, whenever I was going to start my trading day, I had here behind my vision. So like the vision of why am I trading? Why am I doing this? To remind myself every day, why am I doing this? So to start to getting into the flow of actually working. And then for every single pair, I had my checklist, and I went box by box, marking the things that I did. And only until all the boxes were checked, I was able to take a trade. And since I was more swing trading at the time, it didn't really matter much that I had to do all the things, because, okay, I check. And then afterwards, after checking everything, I just write my trading plan, like my trading notes in my OneNote notebook. And then I just place a trade afterwards. So it helped me a lot to gather down all those things. And nowadays, I still use it, but I don't mark the things anymore. I have here some things that are risks related. So I have like those manual numbers, but everything else is okay, I start by day. I just take this as a reminder of what's the process. But since I have done it many, many times before with like going step by step, now it's natural for me. And even when I want to do something and I start and I'm like, wait, no, I have to go back. So I do go back to my checklist and I see, okay, this is the first step. Okay. Then I trigger the process, like the internal process. So like, okay, first step is in a case identifying impulsive and corrective moves, right, for the market. Okay. So I start with that. And once I start with that, I continue the whole checklist, like mentally already, the whole process. And that has helped me it actually reduced the amount of trades I take, but it has increased drastically the quality of trades, which is something really important in this business. Because
powerful. And one of the things that you guys might notice between like Alejandro and other people trying to learn, trying to take courses and stuff, is I think that what we call kind of the speed of implementation is they learn something, they hear about something like Alejandro, and he does it like really right away, like on the spot. And next day it's like it's gonna be done. While most people they hear something, they take like a month to think about it. Is it a good idea, a bad idea? Let me think about if I should try it or not. And then 2 months pass, they've done nothing, and they're at the same place as before. That's a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I also want to say, like, I was like that before. Like, while I was in uni and still studying, I was like that. For example, I don't know if you know the Baby Pips School of Pipsology, the free course that they have in Baby Pips. It took me 1 year, well, like my first year of university, while I was still like interested in trading. It took me that whole year to actually just read through all the content of that thing. But I never applied anything really until a lot afterwards. And when I was in other trading course, I was just looking at the videos and trying to understand the things, but I was never applying the concepts or the things right away. And afterwards, during that year that I had, like that I said, I will dedicate full time to this, and I will make it work because I want to make it work, and I think this is the best option for my future. So since last year, what I have been doing is, okay, I see a lesson, even if I pass, but the content's lower than, but I'm not gobbling up all the information. So I go, like, for example, I go in a lesson, in Academy, I also did that. I went to lesson, I see what are like the key takeaways, and if there is something that I can apply right away. So let's say that it's in one of the lessons of techniques or like support and resistance areas. I will take the lesson, I will take my notes, and then for the next couple of days at least, I will go to the charts and I will do, well, I usually just did like 30 minutes of chart, how many charts I could make, doing the analysis of that. And that way it helped a lot, not just to get the information, but to actually translate that into the beginning of a skill for me. And that helps a lot because when you go to the next part, you already understand how to apply the other parts pretty well. And even for some people, it feels slower because maybe instead of looking at one video, 2 videos every day, or like 2 lessons every day, you're looking at one lesson every 2 days. But what you are doing with the lessons, it's now you are actually getting the value from the lessons a lot stronger than just getting the information. So I equate it to going to class and just being there in the class and kind of hearing what they say, or going to class and after class approaching the professor and asking them, how can I make like whatever you just said work better for real life? So usually if you just go and listen, you will just understand partly and it will be enough to pass the exam, but it will not be enough to apply in real life. And in trading, we don't care about passing exams, right? We care about surviving in the markets, and just knowing good enough the concept, it's not good enough to actually make a living or actually not lose money from trading. In trading, you have to be the top 5%, top 10% of in the world on what you are doing in order to be able to survive, let's say like that.
Yeah.
So
because like most of I talk to, like the beginning traders, they are expert at like trading. They know everything there is to know about trading. They know how to do everything. But when it comes to applying it properly, then that's a question that they kind of miss, and that's where things fall short. I just want to answer a question in the chat we had. I ended up asking about what was the training with Mandy. So we did. So Mandy is a psychology coach. We did a few trainings together. They are online in the academy, and this was kind of in addition. I think when was that, in December or before that?
it was, I think we started it in November last year.
Possible.
Mid of November, and then it ended around February, I think.
Yeah, that was the 2-month or the 12-week training, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, it was I forgot the name. I will look at it.
Yeah, awesome. So this is in the academy now, and I want to go back on that time a little bit. So what was that decision for you to join the academy? So was that tough? Was that like a no-brainer? Like I join and I'll become better, or was that kind of difficult to go through and think about?
Well, at the beginning, it was the complete Forex trading psychology program.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the one that I actually started joining the academy, and that helped me a lot in changing. in reality, I already had, like, for a couple of months, the thing that I know I'm doing something wrong. So I started to look different places. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Is it the strategy? Is it the course material? Because the other course that I had, it was a lot more subjective in the sense that you have base concepts, but uh, you can apply the base concepts. A beginner trader and an experienced trader will apply them, and they will get vastly different results in the same chart. So it was a bit harder in that part. So I'm not sure if it's just me, if my skills are not good enough, or if it's something of how I'm doing the things. So I started looking at things, and then I had been looking your interviews and following your YouTube channel for probably since the beginning of that year. And I had also joined a meetup, hadn't gone yet to any meetups, but joined a meetup here in Mexico City for traders. And I just started looking at things, and I think you did a webinar or a summit with Mandy one day, in which you went by some of those concepts. And in that time, I was like, oh, okay, this sounds pretty interesting. And the way she like delivered the information, it was okay. I was in the right time, and she was saying the right things to me. Like let's just say like that. I don't know how to explain it, because I was looking for something to cover that part, which I hadn't developed yet that well yet. And then she was the things she was saying were the things that I have been looking for the past 2 months of how to implement and how to do. So, and I was like, okay, it's been almost 1 year, and I am not seeing the results I want. I know it's still part of the process, but I know that I have to do something in order to accelerate this process. If not, I could go here 2 or 3 more years, like losing or break even without doing the things correctly. So even if it is $1,000 for the training or something like that, it is worth a lot more that acceleration in time, like cutting my trading process, my development process by 1 or 2 years. It's worth much more than the actual cost of the training. So I was okay. Let's go to that. And I remember that I joined, I think for the second call or something like that. So you already had one of the sessions. And since I was committed with that, I was like, okay, let's do it. I think as soon as I signed up, I watched the first 2 videos, and then the next day I sent you guys the homework that you had for that. So it was the questionnaire. And since then, I have been trying to do, okay, it's prepare, you analyze the things, but take action. And the fastest you take action, the easiest it is for you to not forget to take action. Because if you say, oh, no, it's okay, I will take it tomorrow, I will do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, something may happen. You may have to go to other place or to do something that you didn't expect, that you forgot that you had to do. And then the commitment that you had to do, it's left in the past. So it's always forgotten. So it's really easy to forget what you have to do, especially if it's about personal development. Because in those things, no one else is telling you to do it. It's you have to do the things. And the only one who is going to see the results and who is going to do the actual thing, it's you. So it's the easiest part to procrastinate and to actually forget. So after that, after I saw that a couple of times I will forget, and then I will get reminded by the emails you sent to remind about the coaching, I started doing, okay, if I cannot do it at this time because I have constraints of time, so I have to go really fast to do something, I will just go get my phone and set up a reminder for next day or that day later when I knew I would have time. And there was a point in which I had like 50 reminders for that month in my phone. But it worked pretty well because every time I will forget something, okay, even if I forgot the next day, I will get the reminder for doing that. Okay, I prepare, I start doing the thing. So I started already acting. And usually what I found is the hardest is not to actually do anything. It's more to start doing the things. So once you start, it's really easy to continue and to finish the task. So if it was, for example, applying some of the concepts in order to develop the skills, the hard part was to get by the part of I don't want to start or I don't want to do it, I'm lazy right now. That's the hardest part. But once you start doing it, I sometimes schedule half an hour, and then I will end up doing 1 hour of like analyzing the things and applying the concept that I was looking in the academy course. And that helped me a lot, because next time, if I read the, even if you don't continue, but you rewatch the same lesson, you watch it with a whole different mentality, because now you understand when you already applied it, and you get other smaller, like more nuanced things that you didn't get the first time. And if you go to the next one, you are going to already have a really strong base of the past part. So you get, I found out that even if I was going slower through the videos, I was getting the content a lot faster, in the sense that I was internalizing and making the information and the content mine a lot faster than doing my older process, which was like any lazy student, watch all the information. Like, if you can watch 3 videos in that day, watch 3 videos in that day, and then do nothing for 1 week, and then return back again to do the thing. And then the other process of, okay, just watch one thing, practice that one thing, and then you can move to the next thing. That the second option is a lot more efficient in real life, even if some people don't think, because you usually cannot see the truth when you are there in that point. You can only see that you were really stupid after you pass that point. I don't know if you understand.
Exactly. I can relate to that a lot, for sure. And if I remember well, I think when you joined the academy, you went to you went on a trip for a month or something, or a few weeks.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
you came back to the
family
training.
trip,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm curious to that, I think you were like without Wi-Fi for that time. So what? And that's a question from Joss in the chat. So what was the motivation for you to kind of push through, to keep going back to trading and to keep working on it? So kind of, what was your why?
So for my, like, since the beginning of my trading, and always keeping going back, even though I was in uni, and even though I could have gotten a job in like a really good financial company here in Mexico, something like that.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I will tell you that it was because of my girlfriend. Well, you already know my story, my love story. But for everyone that doesn't know, I have a girlfriend that I met during high school. I am from Mexico City. My girlfriend is from Macau, just beside Hong Kong. And we met in Australia while we both were in high school. And we have been together since then. So it has always been, my plan has always been to find a way in which we can be together. And the most likely scenario is that I will go somewhere to be with her. So one of my plans was, okay, I can work here in a company for maximum. My plan was I can be here in Mexico for maximum 3 years after graduating. I don't know what I do, but I have to be maximum that time, and then I will go away. So one possible thing would be like getting an an analyst level job in any of the financial companies, or like Rothschild, or really good prestigious companies, that they will give you a lot of money for that time, and do you sacrifice your life. But they will give you a lot of money. And then after 3 years, usually they can get you, you can get an exchange inside the company, in which they get you to another of their international sites. So that was like one possibility, or just get the experience and get a job there. But since I have always had the trading thing, and it kept popping up during my career. Actually, in uni, I actually made the program directors to start making special programs. So like 1 day, full day trading. So they teach trading to the students, and they show them what it is so they can know a bit. So since I was like always pushing a bit for that, so at the end I was like, okay, I can do this, but I don't like the life you get when you go from a company, or even consultancy and that, like McKinsey and that. You basically arrive there at 7 a.m. and then go out at 11 p.m. if you are lucky, on a normal work day. And if it's a really, really heavy day, you may go out at 3 a.m. and then you have to go back again the next day at 7 or 8 a.m. Granted, they pay really good salaries, but you are sacrificing at least 6 years of your life in that company before you can get to like a good level in which you have a lot more freedom, and you can just get the entry-level employees to do that, and you have a better life. So I was like, okay, I think that if I do trading well, I knew at that moment, I already knew that money is not the problem of trading. Getting money is not hard in trading, because if you are good, as long as you get enough to set up a legal structure or something, for investors to come. If you can prove that you are good at trading and that you can give performance, money, it's relatively easy to get. I say it in a sense that from where I am, for other countries and other people, it may be harder due to the country regulations and that, but it is relatively easy to get. It's a lot easier to get money to trade than to actually get funding or money for a startup or get a loan from a bank to work in a startup. Because I actually did start a small startup during university. And it was horrible to try to get funding. But for trading, you have so many programs in which you can prove, you can pay an evaluation fee, and then you get 6 months to prove that you can manage your risk and do that. And then they give you 50,000 or up to $500,000, and some of them give you more than $1 million to trade with, and then you get a profit split. So compare that to a startup in which you have to have a lot of things in order to be able to get at least some investment. And then you are still working and you may not see any of the benefits of your startup up until like 3 years later. I was, okay, this is kind of me starting up. It's basically starting a new business. So you start a startup in which it's a harder type of startup because you are the client, you are the business, and you are the product. So you don't have a boss because you don't have a client. In normal startups, you have a client, which a client is usually the boss. But in this, you are the boss, but you are also the employee. So how do you tell yourself that you have to do the work? It's a lot harder in those sense. But I think that the payoff, it's way bigger. And that's why I found that was the best way for me to be together with my current girlfriend, future wife, and to be able to provide for both of us. And if I continue going well and going like in trying to be excellent in what I do, like excellence in everything you do, eventually you can get a pretty good income, which I can funnel that back down to social startups or things that solve real problems in the world, which is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to use the resources from trading to make a positive impact in the world. This is the last line of my vision. Every day I read it. So that's my ultimate goal, long term. But short term, it's to be able to be with my girlfriend, and that's why I have always kept going back.
I love that. And we had a similar question. I think that was Joe also was asking kind of why have you picked trading and why not like Amazon selling or drop shipping or social media marketing or whatever?
I actually tried drop shipping. I did around 5K doing drop shipping, but I find that it's a lot harder to find opportunities that last in drop shipping compared to trading. I did drop shipping for around 6 months, and that paid for a great part of my trading education expenses for last year and this year. But I didn't like it because it was, I don't know, it was just empty. There was no enjoyment in doing other things. And in trading, I also have a lot of fulfillment of learning the markets, on trying to understand what's happening. I really love that of trading, that you cannot go one day without learning or without trying to adapt, or you will be like left behind by the market a bit. So it's always learning and always evolving. And in the dropshipping that I did, it was okay. It was really easy at that point in time because I was one of the first that I was doing that dropshipping in this platform in Mexico. So it was really easy, but it was also like, okay, the only happy thing is I was getting money, but that's the only thing that I had going for it. So I didn't like that. And with trading, I get fulfillment for my process, to do my process properly. I get fulfillment in learning a lot of new things. I get fulfillment also of meeting new people and helping others. And I get lots of other sources of fulfillment that come from trading that I didn't get in the other options that I actually tried for some times in some of them, and others that I knew friends that had done that. But they were also like saying the same things, like, I'm not happy it brings money, but yeah, that's all, that's fun. But everything else, it's not fulfilling at all for them. So I think it's mostly the part that whatever you do, it has to be fulfilling for you in more than an economical way. So it has to give you something more than just money. And I did dropshipping. Dropshipping only gave me money for them some time. And afterwards, the market just got bombarded with lots of other shit dropshippers. So the margins went way down. So it was a tougher market and still didn't give me any fulfillment. Just extra work and extra nuances, but no fulfillment besides the money that I was getting. So I didn't like that.
Yeah, and you recently started coaching people as well, which is, in my opinion, my experience, the biggest fulfillment you can have to coach people, guide them to what they have to do, and seeing them getting results. That's awesome as well.
Yeah, I started doing that because this year I started going to a meetup community here in Mexico City from traders, and I was seeing that they had so many things that I could help them with. Even though there were some that had been in that community for 2 years and that, it seemed that whenever I did a presentation or something like that, they got way more value than what they had learned in the past. So some of them actually approached to me and said, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And I was like, "Okay, let's start like a proper process to help them." So I took a couple of months developing my process for coaching. And then I actually started coaching a trader here from the Mexican community that he is doing futures trading. And he wanted to apply to one of the prop firms. So I started coaching him, and I really liked how whatever you are doing, if the person is committed to the work, you are going to always deliver them so much value, personal value and personal growth. So in what was the term of 1 month that I was doing coaching with him, you could see a huge difference in how he approached the market, how he said the things from the time we started the coaching to the time we finished the main part of the coaching. He was completely different. He told me, okay, before I knew my strategy worked, but every time I had like 5 losses in a row, I would just panic and stop trading for a couple of days and be in a bad mood for a week. But now that I know my stats, now that I have worked with you in one of the like some of the issues that I had, he said like, okay, now that I have done all those things with you, now I understand that trills in a row in my system it's perfectly normal, and as long as I keep executing properly, everything works well long term. So he was like he got his eyes open to many things that he hadn't seen before in that short period amount of time. He had been trading, I think, for 3 years, and he took another course. He took one course, and he was doing well for some time. And then this year, he had a pretty bad year because mostly psychological stuff and not being able to do the process correctly. But after that, he found something different that helped him. And looking at that growth, I really love that. So every time I go to any meetup or to anything, I try to deliver value to people. That's something I love. And that's why I was like, okay, it seems that people get a lot of value from what I do and what I help them with. So it could be a good idea to do a coaching service for that. So to make it more professional. Also because whenever I said something to people, they will be too lazy if they don't have a commitment, like a proper, like more professional commitment. They will not do the things that they are needed to do. But if they have that commitment, they will usually get, they will do what it takes. And in these type of things, if you are not willing to do what it takes, you are going to end up being a hobby trader, which is like any hobby. Most hobbies cost money. So you will end up, you end up paying to the market because it's a hobby, right? So it's you have to pay the cost of your entry for the hobby. So yeah, that's.
Love that. I just want to answer a question in the chat from that was Samba, who was asking, so where do you find these online companies to get funding? We did a few videos about that. I think there's one with Jack Schwager, there's one with Jeremy Newsom. There's one with myself speaking about that. So there's a lot of ways. Just do a search and you'll find some answers.
Yeah, there are lots of ways. I search for prop firms. I actually have a PDF, not PDF, a Google Docs right now that I built for myself. And there are lots of really serious prop firms. There are at least 8 that I know of. 6 of those will found also Forex traders, but there are also many more prop firms that only work with stock traders or only with futures traders. There are an extreme amount of places. The one with Jack Schwager, it's pretty good if you want to get institutional. So maybe you're a small-time trader right now. It may not be like the best idea because they have a minimum amount that you have to manage in order for them to be considered. But if you can start doing your normal trading, that go into one of the others that are smaller hurdles, and then apply all that track record to the one with Jack Schwager. And then you can get a lot of funding. And the funding that goes from that one, I think, is usually institutional. So basically, they help you to set up a proper hedge fund or a proper money management shop. And that's actually what I plan to do later after I get some time with a prop firm that has a smaller amount of hurdle rate for you to prove the track record. I plan to apply all my track record into the platform with Jack Schwager and then try to get some funding there, because there are lots of tools there in order to be able to get. You can do a search. If Etienne agrees, I can like clean up the PDF and make a small page maybe in Start to Trade for that, so that you can have a resource where it's already kind of at least arranged, so that it's easier for people to see, because you can go many really different routes. You can do copy trading. You can do the services as a trader to do copy trading. You can manage accounts, or you can go into a prop firm and get money from them and get a profit split from that.
Yeah, and the amounts can be pretty big, so that's awesome. And I'm going to try to phrase this right, but I think people expect to gain capital before they get to the point where they can gain capital. It's like they expect to get money from other people before they're profitable. And I think you get to a point where you have, number one, the stats to get money from other people, which is easier, but you also get the mindset of like making a relationship, reaching out to people. And that is also where you get more and more capital opportunities in your life and around you. So you need to be able to develop these skills of like relationship and trading at the same time. Those are 2 really important skills.
Yeah, there is one really important thing that you may get funding from just going to meetups, as Etienne has gotten before. Yeah. Because I also have gone to meetups, and there are a couple of traders that told me, when you are ready to present me a track record of at least 3 months with certain parameters, give me a call, present me that, and I'm ready to invest with you. I have already had some people tell me that. I have yet not done that, because in Mexico, even if you want to do a small amount of money you manage for others, you have to get a license. And that's a really, really annoying process. It's a lot easier to just go to a prop firm because you don't have to get a license. Just that's because of Mexican law. But you can get a lot of opportunities just by going to traders meetups, and go with the mind of adding value to the people that are there. And that usually will attract people. People will come to you, and they will try to get close to you in order to learn more from you and to potentially invest in you. So that's also another option for getting funding.
Yeah, love that. And Sharon in the chat was saying that it is worth joining the academy. I appreciate that, Sharon. Thank you very much. And Shadaro was asking, what numbers are they looking for, or what type of number are they looking for the prop firm?
They usually have, literally in the page, they have like an application page. They have different brackets. They are super strict in risk. The first thing they are looking for is for you to be able to manage the risk. They usually have risk parameters that are, you cannot lose in the evaluation period more than 1%, some of them. On the ones that are like more calm, they allow you to lose up to 4% as max. But they are pretty hard with all those risks. If you hit the maximum risk, so the 4% loss, they cut you out, your account is canceled by. That's how it works. There is no second opportunity. If you want an opportunity, you can apply next month again and start the process all over again. And for parts, in the part of profits, they usually, it's either an even match. So the maximum risk limit, let's say, is 1%. They will want you to make 1% in that amount of time. And some others, they have the maximum risk limit at 4%, and they will want you to make around 6 to 7%. And they give you either from 1 month to 6 months, depending on the style of prop firm. But they are pretty strict in those things. And even after you get founded, if you hit any of the of the risk limits and you pass them by 1 cent, your account is canceled in 10 seconds and you are liquidated. So if you had any profits that belong to you, they would just send them to you, but you are liquidated in the moment. They are really, really strict. The risk management in this business, it's the most important thing in order to be able to get funding from anyone.
Yeah. And that's why you need to shift from looking for return to looking for managing the risk, which is a big shift to make.
Yeah, the first thing they look is
pretty powerful.
Risk. Yeah, it's really, really.
Exactly. Love that. Awesome. So I want to thank you for all the work you've been putting on as an assistant recently. We worked on that so much in the past month or so, past like few months. So for people wondering what that is, maybe you can explain a little bit. I can explain also, but I want Nick to explain because you work a lot on that. So what is the trading assistant?
Yeah, well, the trading assistant is a project we have been working since July. I think we started working in that. And it is, right now we have 3 different tiers in the trading assistant. The basic tier, it's the trading strategy that Etienne uses, which is the Bollinger Band reversal. And the trading assistant, it is an MT4 EA, so it's a robot that filters the setups for you. So it basically, instead of you being to have to look at the charts every hour or every 4 hours, the trading assistant will be scanning the chart, will be keeping an eye on the charts, and whenever a valid, in this case, Bollinger Band reversal setup happens, it will send you a notification to your phone with your entry, your stop loss size, and your take profits, the same way that the team uses it. You can personalize most of the settings there. And one of the really important things is also that it can give you your position sizing already as a percentage of your account. So you can use it literally. You could be, well, you do that already. You were in Mexico City last week and you were walking around and you got a notification, and then you just check the chart to see if the price action, or like the context where the notification or the pattern is happening, it's valid, and then you take it or you don't take it. And since you have all the parameters, you can literally just go directly to your MT4 mobile or your broker platform, even in the phone. Yeah, because you have the chart, you have all the information you need to take the decision there. It is meant to be for you to do analysis. Like you have your weekly analysis, so you know what pairs are in which levels and if they are more or less good. And then you have the analysis at the moment in order to take the trade. But it's mostly a tool to automate what you would otherwise do manually. And we also have another service, which is we call it the Advanced Trading Assistant, which is in which if you already have a strategy that you know it works, or you have a strategy that has like rules similar. For example, the Bollinger Band strategy has very strict rules in which it has to pierce the Bollinger Bands and it has to make certain candlestick patterns. So if it has rules that are programmable, that are not that much subjective, at least for the main filtering, you can get a personalized version of the trading assistant for your own strategy. We will code it for you. And then instead of you spending hours every day or having to try to sneak out at work in order to get some 50 minutes of analysis in your charts, you just run your trading assistant with your strategy, or you can get the basic with the Bollinger Band strategy, and you just get notifications whenever there is something happening. So whenever there is something that requires your attention in the markets, and then you can decide at the end if it works or if it doesn't work. That setup, it works according to your trading plan. So if it's in a zone in which you are going to trade, or if the price action is before that setup is how you like it, then you decide to take it and you just take it. And if not, you can have it there for stats or for checking other things that can help you also develop pattern recognition skills to be able to help your trading process. So that's trading assistant. I don't know if Etienne wants to add something more to that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And like we worked on that so much, and it's like really a game changer for me because I don't have to watch the chart pretty much all the time. I watch it once per day, and that's it. And yeah, so if you can make this happen, if you can get this, it would be awesome. Especially if you have like a full time job, you can look at the chart daily or throughout the day. That just changes everything. You don't have to look at all, which is really awesome. Now, that's cool. Anything you want to cover? Anything that you would like to talk about? Or I know now you're doing a lot of work on the academy, helping out with this, which I really appreciate. But anything that you think people should have to apply like right now that they have to think about?
Well, I will just give them one thing to do, and that's
Love
not
that.
just for trading. That's for everything, and it's not directly related to what we said, but it's something that I didn't mention before, but that helped me a lot. And it's whatever you are doing right now, or whenever you do a task, do it mindfully. So be present in the moment of what you're doing, pay attention to what you're doing, and stop thinking of other things. And that way, you will get a lot more value. Like if you are practicing or training or applying anything, like let's say you're studying for your trading, if you do it mindfully, that half hour, 15 minutes that you are doing that will be a lot better than doing 5 times the amount of time of that same action, but doing it in the normal mode we usually do, which is we just kind of do the things, but we are not present in the moment. And that also helped me a lot in my trading. So I hope that can help other people too.
Yeah, that's really good advice. So guys, we appreciate thank you for joining us today. Comment below if you have any question in the chat or in the comment box. And with that being said, everything we'll talk about is linked below. Alejandro's email is linked below as well. If you have any question, reach out. We'll be happy to help, of course. And we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow.
Bye, guys.